And he continued to suggest that a Pacquiao-Mario Barrios welterweight title fight was possible. Bob Santos, the trainer for Mario Barrios, has said recently that he...
6-year-old Manny Pacquiao coming out of retirement to face 29-year-old Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight championship on July 19th in Las Vegas. That's according to an ESPN report. Pacquiao last fought in 2021 when he lost to Yordenis Ugas. Barrios won the WBC welterweight title from Ugas in 2020.
The whole boxing world is wondering about two big questions right now. First, should Manny Pacquiao really be making a comeback? Second, does he have what it takes to defeat Mario Barrios?
No, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. That's a tremendous fight. It was released, BBC. Manny Pacquiao first title was the flyweight WBC, and he wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight.
This isn't just a return, it's a major event. Pacquiao, once the unstoppable force across 8 weight divisions, is now a 45-year-old icon going after one last chance at greatness.
Manny Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, it definitely has to do with money, one. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know,
Meanwhile, Barrios, young and full of momentum, has no intention of being used as a stepping stone. This fight isn't just about punches and titles, it's about pride, legacy, and proving if time ever makes exceptions in boxing.
Who is not so happily retired, seems to still be antsy about fighting. I was at the Andy Ruiz workout in LA this past week, and Sean Gibbons was there representing Isaac Cruz, and part of that.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback feels like something straight out of a Rocky movie, but this time it's happening for real after stepping away in 2021 following a tough loss to Yordenis Ugas. Most thought the PacMan was done for good, but here he is again, gloves on, eyes locked on Mario Barrios. And that WBC welterweight title, it's the kind of return that makes you do a double take. In his last fight, Pacquiao looked slower, less sharp. A glimpse of the past, not the force that tore through champions, but legends don't get that title by giving in to doubt, right? Barrios, on the other hand, isn't here to be a supporting act in a goodbye story. He's focused, he's dangerous, he's got age on his side, and a jab that cuts like a Tyson quote. And when it comes to momentum, Barrios has it all. He's not just staying busy, he's getting better. While Pacquiao was hitting political stages, Barrios was putting in the work round after round, day after day. It's the classic matchup, a veteran warrior versus a rising threat. But this time the question is whether the Lion still has any roar left.
Has said recently that he believes it was going to happen. What do you think of your old foil there, Manny Pacquiao, getting back in the ring again for a world title fight?
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money.
Eddie Hearn, a veteran in the sport, didn't sugarcoat it. He said Pacquiao might still handle fighters outside the top 20, but that's not exactly high praise. It's like saying your grandpa can still drive, just not on the highway. And that's what makes this fight so debated. Pacquiao isn't going up against a faded name, he's challenging a real champion, someone who's been active and tested, not someone clinging to past glory. Fans are split down the middle. Some are fired up like it's 2008 again with Pacquiao posters back on their walls. Others are uneasy, fearing this could end with a stretcher, not a win. And honestly, both sides have a point. Pacquiao has made a career out of beating the odds, but now the hits hurt more. The feet don't move as fast, and recovery doesn't come in minutes anymore, it takes weeks.
62 8-2 with 39 knockouts. Barrios 29 2-1. And for more, welcome in CBS Sports combat analyst Brian Campbell. Manny Pacquiao, the first and only 8-division world champion. He'll be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame next month. And then in July, BC is going to come out of retirement. Why now?
By the way, between those two dates, I believe he has an election coming up for a Senate position in the Philippines. So we always know that Manny.
And yet here we are watching a fight that feels like a clash between two boxing generations. Barrios has everything to gain and not much to lose. If he wins, he becomes a star overnight. If he loses, he still walks away with the honor of sharing the ring with a legend that alone boosts his profile. But for Pacquiao, it's all or nothing. Every shot he takes is a reminder of what he used to be and how fast it can all slip away. Some voices in the boxing world have weighed in, and they're not all offering praise. Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back, calling this a money fight. In his eyes, it's more about cash than legacy. From the timing to the matchup to the buzz, it all points to business over glory. But let's be honest, when has boxing ever been just about the fight? Promoters are already counting the pay-per-view numbers, and the world is watching again. Hackett laid it out clearly. This isn't a wild swing at greatness. It's a smart move. If Pacquiao wanted to go out swinging, he'd have challenged Crawford or Boots. Instead, he picked Barrios, a real threat, but not a knockout machine. It's the perfect middle ground, dangerous enough to be exciting, safe enough to be possible.
I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous.
Tim Bradley wasn't far off either, echoing the growing wave of doubt. He sees this comeback as more about money than legacy, and honestly, it's tough to argue when a retired legend walks into a title shot with 0 tune-ups. Who else gets that treatment? Unless there's serious cash moving things behind the curtain. Barrios sees it too. He's not clueless. He knows this is his big break. He's the young fighter invited to the champs table, but he's not there to admire the moment. He's there to flip the script. Every workout, every round, every drop of sweat is focused on one mission, not just to beat Pacquiao, but to do it clearly and leave no questions. Pacquiao, despite everything he's accomplished, now walks a fine line between making history and facing hard truth. If he wins, it's a perfect ending, a new title, a roaring crowd, and one more piece of gold for the shelf. But if he loses, that's the real risk, not just the L, but how it comes. A close decision might be forgivable, but a knockout, that's different. That's damaging. That's the kind of moment that changes how fans remember you. And in boxing, memories can be sharp and unforgiving.
Sports combat analyst Brian Campbell. Manny Pacquiao, the first and only 8-division world champion. He'll be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame next month. And then in July, BC's going to come out of retirement. Why now?
By the way, between those two dates, I believe he has an election coming up for a Senate position in the Philippines. So we always know that Manny is a busy man. He gets after it. He also dares to be great. And
what makes this fight so exciting and controversial is what both fighters stand for. Barrios represents the future, smart and precise, while Pacquiao is all about old school heart, speed, and hustle. This isn't just about age, it's two generations meeting in the ring, one trying to rise and the other refusing to fade. And here's the twist: boxing's best can't ignore Pacquiao. Even with arthritis, still fights in a way that throws younger fighters off. He moves in unexpected ways, throws punches from odd angles, doing things no manual teaches. That unpredictability is still dangerous. Just ask Keith Thurman, who thought Pacquiao was done in 2019 only to end up on the canvas. But 2019 was 6 years ago, and boxing ages fast. Every moment away adds wear and tear. Barrios has been running hard, while Pacquiao has been busy elsewhere. The ring is unforgiving, yet Manny has a special aura. You don't step in there thinking it'll be easy. Legends have their magic. Sometimes it fades early, sometimes it surprises us one last time, but you can never count them out. That's why Barrios has to be flawless, no mistakes, no showboating, no underestimating. Because if Pacquiao lands a clean shot early, the fight could change in an instant.
this is wild news. Look, in the boxing underground rumor mill, this has been floating around for a couple months. We just didn't know if it was going to be for real. Was Manny really going to commit to not just coming back after 4 years away, after just one fight in the last 6 years at age 46, but to come back directly into a title fight against a young, in his prime, active champion, Mario Barrios?
Now, the media frenzy is in full swing. Commentators, podcasters, and former champions who haven't stepped into a ring since flip phones were popular are weighing in with takes hotter than a fresh hand wrap. It's Pacquiao. It's Barrios that the buzz has sparked a storm of opinions. Some say Manny still moves as fast as ever, while others joke he'd lose a race to a limping tortoise. This fight is more than just boxing. It's a moment that makes the sport question itself. Is boxing about skill and youth, or just a nostalgia-filled pay-per-view cash grab? You can almost hear the old-timers grumble. Back in my day, we didn't need drama to sell fights. But boxing has always mixed sport with show. This Pacquiao-Barrios match is like Shakespeare with gloves, a comeback story. So while you half expect Sylvester Stallone, shadowboxing nearby Vegas is already buzzing with excitement. The lights, the crowd, the celebrities who wouldn't know a jab from a low-carb diet will all be there, and that's part of the magic. Boxing is more than punches and power. It's a spectacle, and Manny's name still fills seats like Elvis at a karaoke night. You don't have to know his stats, just his legend.
But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I actually think he can beat Barrios. Like, maybe it's recency bias. I saw that fight. That Barrios Fabian Maidana fight that was on the Canelo undercard.
Yeah.
I wasn't all that impressed.
Barrios steps into the ring ready to spoil the story with sharp focus. He's young, hungry, and not interested in playing along with the feel-good tale of a legend making a comeback. For Barrios, it's not about legacy, it's about proving himself. Beating Pacquiao means more than a title. It's a fast track to stardom, moving from ESPN sidelines to main event status in a flash. But what really grabs attention is Pacquiao's boldness. He's not retiring quietly with golf clubs and endorsements. Instead, he's lacing up gloves, shaking off rust, and facing a fighter who wasn't even in middle school when Manny won his first world title. This kind of courage mixed with a bit of madness is what makes boxing special. Yet beneath the sweat and show, there's a quiet worry. Pacquiao built his career on speed, quick moves, and fierce attacks. Now his reflexes slow, his steps heavier, and the ring less forgiving. The heart stays strong, but the body ages. Barrios isn't here to shake hands. He's here to fight hard and make his mark, and that's the tough truth fans are facing. The risk that this story ends not with cheers, but with a stretcher.
Say the least. It's a pay-per-view main event, reportedly for July 19th. And we know Manny Pacquiao has always brought big business, but now he's going to bring it in more of the late career George Foreman type of way to etch himself into that record book even further. Can Manny do it? I mean, look, the odds are certainly against him.
Then there are the conspiracy fans armed with charts and theories. They believe the WBC is using this fight as a distraction, a flashy stunt hiding something bigger. Maybe they're right. Maybe Barrios was chosen because he looks good, but is beatable. Or maybe Pacquiao's comeback is just the start of a full return leading to a huge fight against whoever still holds a belt and has two good knees. You know, boxing, it's part sport, part show. The internet is buzzing with fan theories and fantasy matchups. Some think Pacquiao is using this fight to launch a political run. Others say he's testing the waters for one last big payday against names like Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. One Reddit user even claimed Pacquiao's secretly making a documentary. And this fight is just content. Welcome to the digital age where every punch is a promo. Don't forget the training clips. Pacquiao shared a short video hitting mitts and half the internet lost it. He's back, they shouted, as if a few punches could turn back time. Forget science, forget age. Pacquiao still throws 5-punch combos, and that's enough for some to call him immortal. But mitts don't fight back, and the only thing faster than his punches are the doubts chasing them.
But there's one thing about certain legends in this game. Think Bernard Hopkins, who fought into a very late age. Some of them, as long as they can physically get themselves into that ring, sometimes they can reproduce magic for one night. So it's a romantic situation. I got cats walking around.
Yep.
People are excited to see the PacMan back. He's just got to kind of figure out, is this for real? Is he going to be for real? Or are we going to send him into a physical, violent retirement?
Yeah, Reggie's a big Manny Pacquiao fan. He loves him because he knows about Father Time, because Father Time...
Barrios is keeping quiet. Maybe too quiet. Some wonder if it's focus or fear. Is he training hard alone somewhere with just sandbags and silence? Or is he sweating knowing he's facing a living legend? Whatever it is, he knows this fight isn't just another match. It's a clash with history, a test of skill and calm, and history doesn't care about your winning streak. Boxing legends don't always age like fine wine. Sometimes they spoil fast. For every George Foreman comeback, there's a Roy Jones Jr. warning. That's the risk Pacquiao is taking, and that's why fans are split. Half are cheering with their hearts, the other half worrying with their heads. Still, there's something poetic in the chaos. Pacquiao has always beaten the odds. From humble beginnings in the Philippines to politics to boxing greatness, he's never played it safe. Maybe this is his last stand, facing youth with nothing but guts and memory. Maybe that's enough.
Right, we got him at 10-0, and that's a blessing in and of itself. 10-0, 8 knockouts. Just signed that nice deal with Turkey as the ring ambassador. So we're well on our way, and tonight's another step in the right direction, and we got to take care of business tonight.
So we're going to be seeing him on some ring cards in the future.
Oh, definitely, but we got to take care of business tonight. You know, you can't catch the chickens before they're hatched, so we got to take care of business tonight. And this is heavyweights, and we all know with heavyweights, one punch can change anything.
Even if Barrios wins, he'll be walking a tricky line. Beat Pacquiao too badly, and he becomes the guy who crushed a legend. Lose, and he's the young fighter outsmarted by a 46-year-old veteran. It's a PR nightmare. Boxing rarely hands out clean endings. Usually, they're messy and complicated. That's what makes this fight so captivating. Pacquiao isn't fighting for his legacy. He already owns that. He's fighting because fighters fight. It's not about logic. It's about drive, addiction, that itch that never goes away, the voice whispering, "You still got it." Maybe it's lying. Maybe it's true. Either way, on fight night, we'll all be watching. Analysts will debate, trainers will analyze, and fans will be on the edge of their seats. Some will watch for hope, others for closure, and some just to see what happens when time tries to outrun destiny one last time. And though Pacquiao's chin isn't what it used to be, his name still hits harder than most right hooks.
For anybody in the welterweight division, and for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again.
This isn't just a boxing match. It's a moment, a piece of culture, a reminder that in boxing nothing ever really ends. Fighters may retire, but their spirits hang around gyms, gloves, and commentary booths until one day they step back in. And when they do, even if it's just for one last fight, we can't look away. Leading up to this bout, gyms are buzzing, reporters are shouting, and fans are debating everywhere. The veterans say Pacquiao still has what it takes, while the newer fans call it a cash grab. Meanwhile, promoters are smiling from ear to ear. This is boxing at its best, a fight full of drama, history, and stakes so high it's hard to breathe near them. Now we're at the final countdown. The fight hasn't happened yet, but the stage is set. Legends have spoken, fans have picked sides, and the only thing left is that first bell. When it rings, all the doubts, debates, and jokes will vanish under the sound of gloves hitting flesh. So whether you're rooting for Pacquiao or Barrios, get ready. This isn't just another fight. It's the end of an era meeting the start of a new one. In that fierce space between past and future, fists will fly, stories will be made, and history will decide who truly belongs in the spotlight.
Oh, by the way, 2 fights ago for Manny in 2019, he came out of retirement and beat an unbeaten Keith Thurman for the welterweight title at the age of 40. There's very few greats that you can call all-time greats, and I think sometimes even above that category, there's that upper room. Is Manny Pacquiao one of those in boxing history? Sure, but let's look at a couple things. The last thing to go is power, yes. Manny was also absurdly fast in his prime. So like a Roy Jones Jr. who hung on.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win, the living legend or the rising star? Stay tuned, because this fight is going to be unforgettable.